Thank you. It's a great honor to be here in front of you today. And first off, before we begin, I want to give God the glory for letting each of us be healthy and here today, and this wonderful day that He has provided for us. The second thing I would like to do is to thank all of our veterans for their military service. But as Julia said, I am Joel Gill. The way that I tell people to try and remember that is it's like Joel, the prophet out of the Bible, predicting the end of the world. And also Gill, just like a fish. But many of you remember me from the 2008 race. I was the all-beef, no-bull guy. And I'm back again to try one more time. Paul Gallo introduced me, or mentioned me on his show as Joel Gill's the cattle farmer. Well, calling me a cattle farmer is a little bit like saying Paul Gallo works at the radio station sometime cleaning up. What he should have said, and what I want you to know, is that I'm actually an independent businessman. My brother and I now continue to run our father's company that was founded right in Jackson, Mississippi in 1964. We have buyers all over the state of Mississippi, parts of Tennessee, Louisiana, and Alabama. Our trucks picked up the cattle and they shipped them out west. So now that you know what I do, you realize I'm not just a guy out there on the farm, but I'm a fellow that's intimately involved with business, making a payroll, and making sure that my taxes are paid, making sure that my employees have a job. And folks, sometimes that's hard to do, because when I go to the office on Monday morning, we never really know if we have anything sold or not. This year, the economy was horrid in February. The weather was horrid in February. We went 3 weeks. And those of you that are independent in business, you know how tough it is to make a payroll for 3 weeks for your 11 employees with no income coming in. But let me say, I'm here at the Tea Party because I believe in the principles. I believe in constitutionally limited government. I believe in financial responsibility. I believe in free markets. But most of all, I believe in keeping the freedom for the American people and the people of Mississippi. To talk about constitutional limitations on the government, we have stretched that so far, or the Congress has stretched that so far, and the state legislatures have been so weak in standing up for your rights that many of them have been warped into a shape that you would not even recognize today. One of the ones I want to mention is eminent domain. Now, eminent domain from the foundation of the country was to be used for necessary public purposes, to put a road in, to maybe take a small amount of land to build a school. But ladies and gentlemen, with the Kelo decision, that is now being stretched to say, we're going to take your private property that may have been in your family for 4 generations, and we're going to give it to a developer because we think we can make more tax money when that fellow gets done. Well, it's supposed to be just compensation. If that developer wants that land, since all real estate is location, 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 let him pay for it. He doesn't need to be using the public process to come in to condemn your private property. You know, Amendment number 5 guarantees us that right. For financial responsibility, you have to make sure that the budgets are balanced. You know, I've served 2 terms as alderman in the town. We always had a balanced budget. I'm completing my first term as mayor in the town. We have a balanced budget. And there's no reason that the folks in Jackson and the folks in Washington, D.C. should not be held to these same high standards. Now, sometimes you will have cases where some of the folks in Jackson will say, well, we'll pass the buck later because we were given some free federal money. Well, I don't blame them for doing that, because if you're faced with either cutting services or raising people's taxes, that is a tough choice, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in free markets with as little government interference as possible. Now, not the free trade agreements. Free trade agreements are putting people out of work in the United States and especially in Mississippi. Many of you in the Hinds County area can remember those 10, 15 different shirt factories that used to exist as you drove south on I-55. First, they went to Mexico. But the Mexicans weren't able to keep them for long because in this shrinking global economy, they wound up in Honduras and Guatemala. And I think if most of you check out some of these T-shirts, you're going to see where they were made. And not a one of them, or very few of them, will say made in USA. Now, you do need some protections in these markets to make sure that you as consumers aren't cheated, that you aren't sold Chinese drywall, that you aren't sold other poisonous products such as melamine. I also support the marriage as a union of one man and one woman. It's an institution founded by God, and to do anything else is just flies in the face of the Scripture. Cap and trade? What a horrible, horrible idea. Global warming has been swapped over to be climate change because the data is not there to back up global warming. In fact, those of you that are as old as I am can remember back in the 70s we were talking about, well, this global cooling that's going to damage us. And of course, I was a physics major at Millsaps, and I came out and said, there's no problem. We can have nuclear power. We can go underground. We'd better change that rhetoric. It's heating up. The world is heating up. Folks, as puny man, if you ever see some of those shots from NASA where you get up above the curvature of the Earth, you get some idea of how incredibly small we are. And maybe if we all made the effort at exactly the same time, we could foul the planet enough to put humans out of business. But I'll guarantee you within a month the cockroaches will be back. I oppose illegal immigration and amnesty in any form. We've tried it twice. It does not work. Now, I will say I do support legal immigration. Anybody that wants to come here and participate in our American dream, let them come legally, let them learn how to speak English, and let them experience our American dream. And I've got one thing very personal on this illegal immigration. Some of you are familiar with the situation in New Mexico where that rancher was shot and killed. He was a member of the national organization that I'm a national committee chairman on, RKF USA. That fellow, although he opposed illegal immigration, he would give water to people because he was a kind Christian man. He would also tell the sheriff that these guys are coming across, but very little was ever done. But he was shot and killed on his own ranch by an illegal immigrant. Another thing that I found repugnant happened just the other day. Can you believe that a Wisconsin judge ruled the National Day of Prayer as unconstitutional? That's something we need to fix. I want y'all to know I fully support the Second Amendment, also the 9th and the 10th. We have had a few bad ones like the 16th and 17th, but I would support a new amendment, Amendment 28, making sure that all laws that Congress pass apply equally to Congress and that any benefits Congress have applies equally to the people. But I thank you very much. The primary is going to be June 1. I'm Joel Gill, all beef, no bull. If you want to learn more about me, please visit my website, www.gillforcongress. And if you're serious about flipping this House, if you're serious about flipping this Senate, you've got to take out liberals. You've got to give new conservatives a chance. You've got to move forward. You can't say, everybody up there needs to go, but my guy. If you do that, ladies and gentlemen, not a darn thing will change. Thank you very much.